Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This story is something I've never shared before, and it's one of those moments that completely changed the way I look at life. I'm not even sure how to explain it, but I'm gonna try. I found a letter, and the stranger who wrote it had no idea that it would end up in my hands. You're probably wondering what's so special about this letter, right? Well, trust me, by the end of this, you'll get it. It all started when I was going through my grandma's attic, going through old boxes she had saved. You know the ones, full of memories, pictures, old postcards. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to find much. But then I found this. It wasn't even in a box, just sitting there, tucked away behind a picture frame. It looked like it had been sitting there for decades. The handwriting was so neat, and the paper, well, it just had this old, worn out vibe. Naturally, I opened it. And that's when things got weird. I started reading. Dear reader, if you're holding this, I've long passed. My name is Clara Thompson. I was born in 1923, and I've spent most of my life in this house. There's something I need to confess to someone, and if this letter reaches you, I hope you'll understand. I've kept this secret for my entire life. At that moment, I stopped reading. My heart was pounding. I was in shock. What could this woman possibly have meant by that? A confession? And why had this letter been kept hidden all these years? I knew then that I had to find out more. I had to learn what had happened to Clara Thompson, what secret she was carrying. But where do you even begin to search for someone whose story had been buried for decades? I started my research. I reached out to local historians, spent hours combing through old archives, and even visited the town's library to see if anyone knew who Clara was. The deeper I dug, the more I realized this wasn't just some forgotten letter. It was the start of a real mystery. Eventually, I found more clues. Old newspaper clippings, pictures, and letters that referenced Clara. It turns out, Clara Thompson had been well known in the town, but there was always something about her that people didn't talk about much. As I pieced the story together, I uncovered something that shook me to the core. Clara had been in love with a man named Robert. They were young, deeply in love, but circumstances kept them apart. Family expectations, societal pressures, something they couldn't overcome. Their love story, their relationship, was one filled with regret and unspoken words. And then the letter made more sense. Clara's confession wasn't just about guilt. It was about making peace with a past she could never change, with a love that she could never fully have. She carried that secret with her until the day she died, hoping that maybe, one day, someone would understand. What Clara didn't know is that this letter would end up in my hands, and I couldn't help but feel like I was meant to hear her story. Reading Clara's letter made me realize how many of us carry around our own regrets, our own secrets. We hold on to things, waiting for the right time to share them. But sometimes, those things never get said, and they just stay with us. For Clara, it was a love story that never had its happy ending. For me, it was a reminder to not let important things slip through the cracks of time. So, here I am, sharing Clara's story with you all. A letter she never meant to be found, yet it somehow ended up changing my life. Maybe it's just a story from the past, but it made me think, how many of us have our own untold stories, hidden away, waiting for the right moment? And maybe, just maybe, we can all learn from Clara. Life is too short to keep secrets locked away forever. I don't know if I'll ever find out what truly happened between Clara and Robert, or how Clara spent the rest of her life. But I do know this. Every person's story matters. Sometimes we just need to listen to them. So, have you ever found something that changed the way you see the world? Maybe it wasn't a letter, but a moment or a conversation? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.